It's a story that has picked up national attention.
It's often said that a picture can say a lot more than words. And since the very first camera was created, people believe that over 12.4 trillion photos have been snapped throughout history. Sadly, many of these photos have been lost over time. But now and then, someone discovers an old photo album that was thought to be gone forever. Back in the early 19th and 20th centuries, explorers ventured into uncharted territories, capturing images of their discoveries as they went. However, this man found an explorer's old photo album that reveals what he encountered hidden in the jungle. Join us as we unravel some of the most intriguing encounters hidden in the jungle revealed by an old photo album. Number 20, the Abandoned Bluebell. Deep in the heart of northwestern New Brunswick, there lies a forgotten relic known as the Bluebell Tunnel. Once a busy route for trains, this tunnel now stands empty, slowly being taken over by nature. Built in 1910, the tunnel has not held up well over the last century. As you step into its crumbling interior, you'll immediately feel a drop in temperature and notice the air becoming still. The sounds of the surrounding forest will fade away, replaced by the ghostly echoes of water dripping from the cavernous walls. The Bluebell Tunnel got its name from the nearby community and was once celebrated as the largest tunnel in the area. By the autumn of 1912, the National Transcontinental Railway, including this tunnel, was finished, making history by handling the largest rail freight shipment ever in North America. However, as time passed, the tunnel fell into disuse, becoming a safety risk. Trains stopped using it, and a new route was built, leading to even fewer visitors. Today, the Bluebell Tunnel stands as a mysterious and ghostly attraction, drawing adventurous souls to explore its shadowy interior. As visitors wander through, they encounter old rusted tracks and unsettling graffiti, remnants of a bygone era. Number 19, the hottest river. Andres Russo, a brave geoscientist, set out on an amazing journey to find the hottest boiling river in the Amazon. He had heard about this incredible feature since he was young, and after 8 long years of searching, his dream came true in 2011. Russo found this surprising boiling river in the heart of the Peruvian Amazon. The river, which stretches for miles, reaches a scorching 186 degrees Fahrenheit, instantly cooking any small animal that falls into it. Remarkably, no one had even been sure this river existed until Russo's discovery. This finding is now considered one of the most important scientific breakthroughs in recent times. What makes the river especially interesting is that it's not heated by volcanic activity, as one might expect. Unfortunately, the river's existence is threatened by deforestation in the area. In response, Russo founded the Boiling River Project, a non-profit organization dedicated to protecting the river, supporting local indigenous communities, and preserving the surrounding rainforest. His goal is to conduct detailed geological studies and eventually declare the site a Peruvian national monument. Russo's dedication to this project comes not only from his scientific curiosity, but also from a deep respect for the river's sacredness. Number 18, a stinky parasite. Calling the Rafflesia arnoldi, just a plant doesn't quite capture its strange nature. Its life begins as a tiny seed, hidden beneath the bark of a woody vine that seems as insignificant as sawdust. But then something odd happens. Over time, it forms a parasitic cocoon the size of a golf ball that blends seamlessly with its host, the tetrastigma vine. If the buds manage to survive, no small feat, they eventually turn into a grotesque, cabbage-like structure. This structure then leads to the monstrous and rather disgusting bloom of the Rafflesia. The flower itself is blood red with spots, and while it might look interesting, it gives off a bad smell, often compared to the smell of rotting meat. If you're worried about coming across one of these stinky blooms, it's worth knowing that the Rafflesia is almost extinct. There are about 30 known species of this genus, all found in the rainforests of Southeast Asia. Sadly, these unique plants are facing imminent doom due to habitat destruction and relentless harvesting for their supposed medicinal properties. Ironically, their survival is also threatened by their parasitic nature, as they struggle to reproduce on their own. Thus, the future of Rafflesia remains uncertain and risky. Number 17, the biggest world spider. When you think about creepy jungle creatures, you can't avoid our 8-legged hairy friends. the tarantulas. One of these interesting critters is the Goliath bird eater, a spider that's nothing short of terrifying. It's the biggest spider on the planet, weighing up to a hefty 6 ounces and having legs that stretch nearly a foot wide. Just the thought of it is enough to give you chills. For centuries, stories about these spiders-eating birds have added to the scary reputation of the entire Theraphosa family. You'll find the Goliath bird eater hiding in the thick, wild jungles of the Amazon in South America. And when it's hunting time, its menu isn't limited to insects. This spider uses inch-long fangs that work like poison syringes, injecting paralyzing poisons with a single bite. Once its unsuspecting prey is caught, it's dragged back to the Goliath's hole, and the rest is history. Unlike many other spiders, the Goliath bird eater doesn't spin webs in the usual way. Instead, it builds an underground home beneath the forest floor. This smart setup allows it to catch unsuspecting prey by sensing even the tiniest movements through special hairs on its legs. These hairs act like an early warning system for any approaching danger. So while the Goliath bird eater might not spin regular webs, it certainly knows how to plan a meal. Number 16, Guatemala, mysterious stonehead. Deep in the lush jungles of Guatemala, there lies a huge stone head that has fascinated and puzzled people for over 50 years. Discovered 50 years ago, this massive statue features a striking face with a large nose and thin lips, looking up toward the sky. Unlike other stone heads found in South America, this one sparked much debate and curiosity among archaeologists. Amidst a whirlwind of excitement and doubt, it quickly became shrouded in mystery, fading into obscurity as it was overshadowed by other ancient artifacts. However, the late 1980s brought a renewed interest in this fascinating artifact. The stone head emerged from the depths of history, with new images from its discovery showing a face that seemed unusual compared to other pre-Hispanic artifacts. The Guatemalan jungle became the setting for a renewed investigation, sparking the quest to uncover its secrets. Unfortunately, explorers who ventured into the jungle were disappointed to find that opportunists had already reached the stonehead. The statue was left damaged and neglected, with its nose, eyes, and mouth harmed by those trying to understand its mysteries. Despite the damage, dedicated researchers worked hard to piece together the remains of the giant head, revealing that it stood between 4 and 6 meters tall, which only added to the intrigue about its origin. The stonehead's features did not match those of known pre-Hispanic civilizations, leaving historians puzzled. Instead of providing clarity, its unusual characteristics fueled skepticism. Some doubted whether it was a genuine artifact or just an elaborate hoax. Number 15. Zombie fungus. The creepy parasite called cordyceps acts like a villain from a horror movie in the natural world. This unsettling fungus has a chilling ability to turn ants into zombie-like creatures. Here's how it works. The sneaky cordyceps release tiny spores that infect unsuspecting ants in the rainforest. As the infection spreads, it begins to control the ants' behavior. These infected ants are forced to leave their safe homes as their tiny ant brains are taken over by the fungus. They start marching in a daze, driven by a strong urge to find a specific, damp place that's perfect for the fungus to grow. It's like a terrifying movie playing out among insects. When the ants finally reach their destination, they bite down on a leaf, and the fungus, now in full control, starts to drain their life energy. In a creepy twist, the fungus then grows a strange, fruiting body right out of the ant's head. This gruesome sight turns the dead ant into a disturbing platform for the fungus to release its spores. It's a troubling but fascinating example of the extreme and sometimes gruesome challenges found in the natural world. Number 14. Satanic leaf-tailed gecko. Madagascar isn't just the setting for animated family movies. It's a real place full of strange and amazing animals. Take, for example, the Satanic leaf-tailed gecko. This lizard has a truly unusual look, including a tail that looks like a dead leaf. You won't find these creatures anywhere else in the world, only in Madagascar. These geckos are active at night, meaning they come out at night to hunt. Their diet is quite varied, ranging from insects to young mice. However, they're not at the top of the food chain. Birds, snakes, and rats can pose serious threats to them. When threatened, these geckos put on an impressive defense. They open their mouths wide, make strange noises, and flash their reddish tongues to scare off potential predators. But their most remarkable skill is their camouflage. They can blend in perfectly with dead leaves, using shades of gray, beige, and brown along with mossy spots. This disguise allows them to hide among branches or foliage during the day. They even use their leaf-shaped tails to enhance their camouflage. Larger species of these geckos can flatten themselves against tree trunks and use their sticky legs and fringed edges to make their outlines harder to see. This amazing camouflage trick fools many predators, especially birds. Interestingly, similar camouflage techniques have developed independently in Australian leaf-tailed geckos, despite their distant evolutionary relationship. Over generations, the geckos with the best camouflage have survived and passed on their genes. It makes you wonder what new tricks the next generation of these geckos might develop if they continue to perfect their disguise. Number 13. The corpse flower. Deep in the heart of the Sumatran rainforests, there's a remarkable and somewhat notorious flower, the corpse flower. The Sumatran rainforests are home to this unusual flower, which has gained fame for its terrible smell that resembles rotting flesh. Witnesses of its rare blooming can confirm just how intense the experience can be, adding an extra layer of fascination to this botanical oddity. The corpse flower's smell serves an important role in nature. It attracts dung beetles, flesh flies, and other insects that are drawn to decaying matter. These insects, attracted by the flower's awful scent and dark red color designed to look like a dead animal, help pollinate the flower by carrying pollen on their legs. In addition to its foul smell, the corpse flower can also generate heat, reaching up to 98 degrees Fahrenheit. This heat mimics the warmth of decaying flesh, fooling insects into thinking the flower is a potential food source. While the insects are disappointed to find no actual food, they help pollinate the flower in the process, which is crucial for the plant's survival. The corpse flower can grow up to 12 feet tall and is not just a single flower, but a complex structure with a central spike surrounded by rings of male and female flowers. Pollination involves a careful dance among these parts to ensure successful reproduction. For those eager to see this rare bloom, timing is key. The flower doesn't bloom on a regular schedule. It may stay dormant for decades, and when it finally does bloom, the display lasts only 24 to 36 hours. This brief period may be a relief to nearby animals with sensitive noses. Despite its fascinating nature, the corpse flower faces a serious threat. The destruction of its rainforest habitat is pushing this incredible plant towards endangerment, highlighting the need for conservation efforts. Number 12. The Poto Bird. The common poto, a bird native to South and Central America, from Bolivia to Venezuela, is not the easiest to spot. This bird's light-colored feathers blend so well with tree bark that it can easily be mistaken for a broken branch when it's still. Finding one isn't as simple as a leisurely walk in the park. It takes some effort. However, if you're out at night, shining a light on a tree, and you see a pair of bright orange eyes looking back at you, you might have found a poto. These unique birds make a distinct call that might be linked to their name. Like owls, potos are active at night and feed on insects like moths, fireflies, termites, and grasshoppers. In their personal lives, common potos are monogamous, meaning they stay with one partner for life. While they aren't currently listed as endangered, deforestation in South and Central America is a serious threat to their habitat. By taking action to protect their forests, we can help ensure that these remarkable birds continue to have a home in the wild. Number 11. Walking palms. The walking palm, also known scientifically as Socratea exoryza, isn't just any ordinary plant. It's the kind of tree that makes you wonder about the limits of nature. This unique tree lives in the rainforests of Central and South America and has a remarkable ability. It can move by growing new roots in different directions. Local guides in the rainforest have been telling stories about these wandering palm trees for years. However, it wasn't until 1980 that John H. Bodley put forth a scientific explanation for this strange behavior. He observed that these palm trees seem to move away from obstacles, like fallen trees, by extending their roots and gradually shifting their position. There's still a lot of debate among scientists about whether these trees can truly move. Researchers are continuing to study the walking palm and its unusual root system to understand its mysteries. Some scientists think the roots help the tree stay steady in swampy areas, while others believe they help the tree reach more sunlight without having to grow a longer stem. So far, no one has definitively proven any of these theories, and the walking palm remains one of the rainforest's most intriguing puzzles. Number 10. Lake Hillier. Lake Hillier, found on the southwest coast of Australia on Middle Island, is famous for being one of the most beautiful lakes in the world. It stretches 600 meters wide and is a saltwater lake surrounded by sandy shores and green plants with eucalyptus trees nearby. The highlight of Lake Hillier is its striking pink color, which looks like bubblegum. What's even more fascinating is that Lake Hillier is not your ordinary lake. It sits right next to the deep blue ocean, separated by a narrow strip of land covered with melaleuca, a native Australian plant. This small land barrier makes the bright pink water of the lake stand out even more against the blue ocean, creating a stunning contrast. Scientists haven't pinpointed the exact reason, but they think a special organism called Dunaliella salina might be the cause. This red algae can survive in salty water and produces pigments during photosynthesis, similar to the ones found in carrots, which give the lake its brilliant red color. Other bacteria in the lake might also play a role in creating this colorful show. It's a beautiful mix of natural processes interacting with the salty environment. Remarkably, Lake Hillier keeps its rosy hue all year round, though the color's intensity might change depending on where you view it from. Even if you take some of the water home, it retains its enchanting color. Number 9. Yellow Anaconda. Anacondas are incredibly large snakes that hold the record for being the biggest in the world. They can grow up to an amazing 70 feet long and weigh around 550 pounds. To reach such enormous sizes, these snakes prefer eating big animals like deer, wild pigs, caimans, and sometimes even brave jaguars. Although they don't have venom, anacondas use a deadly method called constriction. They wrap around their prey and squeeze tightly until the animal can't breathe, which makes it easier for the anaconda to swallow its meal whole. The yellow anaconda, which is closely related to the more famous green anaconda, is also quite significant, but doesn't grow as large. It usually reaches about 10 feet long, though some can get even bigger. These snakes live in rivers and swamps and are known for their ambush technique. They often lie in wait in the water and grab their prey by surprise, sometimes even drowning them before they start to squeeze. Because of their strong water connection, yellow anacondas are sometimes called water boas. They are expert hunters in aquatic environments, patiently waiting for the perfect moment to attack. In their watery homes, their prey often meets its end in a dramatic struggle before being crushed by the anaconda's powerful grip. The yellow anaconda, a stealthy giant in wet habitats, perfectly showcases the fascinating balance of nature's predators in their mysterious underwater world. Number 8. Real-life Tarzan. Deep within the dense Vietnamese jungle, there's a real-life figure who could be compared to Tarzan, Ho Van Lang. For 41 years, he lived an extraordinary life without ever knowing about women. His remarkable story began in 1972, during the Vietnam War. After a bomb tragically killed his mother and 2 brothers, Ho Van Lang, his father, and his remaining brother retreated into the wilds of the Tatra district. They abandoned all signs of civilization and, using their remarkable skills, built shelters and survived by gathering fruits and honey and hunting animals. Curiously, they completely avoided any contact with other people. It wasn't until 2015 that a photographer named Alvaro Cerezo accidentally discovered the family, and Ho Van Lang's world began to change in unexpected ways. He had never known about women because his father had never explained them to him. Even now, after seeing women in the nearby town, he still doesn't fully understand the differences between genders. His brother describes him as a man who still has the mindset of a child, lacking an understanding of basic social norms and concepts of right and wrong. At first, adjusting to village life was a challenge for Ho Van Lang, but he has gradually adapted to his new surroundings. His innocent and charming personality has won over the people around him, despite his limited grasp of social conventions. Ho Van Lang's incredible journey, spent in isolation for 4 decades, highlights the fascinating and unusual aspects of human life. Number 7. Humpback Whale. Finding a humpback whale in the middle of the Amazon rainforest was a real puzzle for researchers in Brazil, near where the Amazon River begins. The sight of this huge whale in Maharo Bay, close to Soares, Brazil, and only about 15 meters from Araruna Beach was very unusual and confusing. Local officials quickly noted that spotting a whale in this area at that time of year was extremely rare. Estimates of the whale's size differed. The Brazilian environmental group Waterbug said it weighed around 10 tons and was about 8 meters long, while the local government thought it was slightly larger, measuring up to 11 meters. The mystery grew even more intriguing because the whale's body didn't show any clear signs of injury. Two main theories have emerged about how the whale ended up there. One possibility is that a strong tide might have pushed the whale ashore. Alternatively, it's possible that locals dragged the huge creature out of the water after it faced an unknown problem. Either way, this puzzling and sad event has left many people wondering how a humpback whale ended up so far from the ocean and deep in the jungle. Number 6. Monster Turtle. The mata turtle is a strange and spooky creature that hides in the dark, muddy waters of the Amazon. Its look is quite unsettling. It has a rough, bumpy shell covered with unusual, cone-shaped bumps that resemble old, mysterious symbols carved into its back. This turtle is not a friendly pet. What's creepy is its long, snorkel-like nose. Instead of relying on good eyesight, this turtle stays hidden in the shadows, using its special skin flaps to cover its head and neck. These flaps are filled with sensitive nerves that can feel even the smallest movements of potential prey. The small bumps around its mouth and neck, as well as the bars on its chin, are thought to be extremely sensitive. Young mata turtles have shells that are the color of old blood, while their undersides shine with a ghostly glow. Males usually stay in shallow, muddy waters, like winding streams or stagnant swamps. During nesting season, from October to December, females take part in eerie rituals. They make hidden nests in the forest underbrush, laying their eggs one by one. The incubation period is a tough 200 days, and when the moon is full, the mata turtle emerges from its dark hideout, a sight so spooky it might just give you nightmares. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. In the dusty attic of an old Victorian house, a man found an explorer's old photo album that reveals what he encountered hidden in the jungle. The leather cover was worn with age, but his curiosity was too strong. As he flipped through the yellowed pages, he found a series of photographs showing a long-lost trip to the Amazon in the early 20th century. One photo in particular caught his eye, a sepia-toned image of a dense jungle with an old stone structure barely visible through the leaves. The handwritten note said, "The Lost City of Lemuria, a mystery yet to be found." He knew the name Lemuria only from mysterious stories shared among historians, but no one had ever confirmed it existed. Determined, he compared the photos with modern maps and set out on an adventurous journey into the heart of the Amazon. Weeks later, pushing through thick vines, he discovered the remains of the city, a large ruin decorated with detailed carvings and glowing with a forgotten splendor. The explorer's album had not just captured history, it had revealed a hidden chapter of human civilization. What hidden secrets do you think the lost city of Lemuria might still hold? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Number 5. Jewel Caterpillar. In the lush jungles of Ecuador, some caterpillars look like living jewels. Though they're only half an inch long, these caterpillars are truly remarkable. They are beautiful and unique, looking more like precious gems than ordinary insects. These caterpillars will eventually turn into moths, and their beauty makes them stand out despite their tiny size. Their elusive nature adds an air of mystery to their presence in the vibrant Ecuadorian rainforest. Despite being small, jewel caterpillars are surprisingly quick and nimble. They move with unusual skill, which is quite impressive. Their bodies are covered with delicate spikes and a shiny layer that is detailed yet surprisingly easy to shed. When interacting with these caterpillars, you'll find an interesting defense mechanism. If you break off one of their spikes and squeeze it, a gooey, jelly-like substance comes out. However, the surface of the caterpillar itself feels dry, creating a fascinating contrast. This goo might be a way to protect the caterpillar from predators. While scientists haven't confirmed if it's toxic, It's clear that this gooey substance could help scare off animals that might want to eat them. When threatened, these caterpillars can shed their spikes, leaving the predator with a sticky mess instead of a meal. This clever survival strategy redirects predators, like ants or wasps, away from the caterpillar, helping it stay safe. Number 4, Yoda Bat. A recently discovered bat in the jungles of Papua New Guinea has been identified as a new species. This charming mammal has earned the nickname Yoda Bat because it looks a lot like the wise and friendly character from Star Wars. Scientists and Star Wars fans alike are thrilled by this discovery. The bat, officially named the Hamama tube-nosed fruit bat, has a nickname that comes from the Papuan word for happy, chosen by a biologist from the University of York to reflect its seemingly joyful expression. The Yoda Bat's distinctive look comes from its rounder jaw, which gives it a constant, cheerful grin. Compared to other fruit bats, this species has a unique appearance that makes it stand out. A team of experts examined 3,000 bat specimens to properly recognize and classify this delightful creature. The bat's scientific name, Nick Dean Wright, honors Dr. Deb Wright, a well-known conservationist who made important contributions to wildlife protection in Papua New Guinea. The Yoda bat belongs to a family of bats known for their unusual tubular nostrils. Its special features, particularly the rounder and broader jaw, give it its ever-smiling look. Although locals had known about this happy bat since 1769, it wasn't officially recognized until now because it was hard to tell it apart from similar species. After 250 years, this newly identified species can now be studied in its natural habitat, offering valuable insights into its behavior and way of life. Number 3, the Maroxy. Every part of the world has its unique myths and legends, and South America is no different. One of the most famous mythical creatures from South America is the Maroxy. These creatures are said to be huge ape-like beings that can grow up to 12 feet tall. They are also known for being very aggressive towards humans, often attacking anyone who gets too close to their home. One of the most well-known stories about the Maroxy comes from British explorer Colonel Percy Fawcett. In 1914, while exploring the South American jungles, Fawcett and his team came across a group of Maroxy. Fawcett described them as very hairy and armed with bows and arrows. He also noted that they couldn't talk but only made grunting sounds. To scare them away, Fawcett and his team shot their guns into the ground. Although they managed to drive the Maroxy off, the encounter left them feeling very unsettled. Number 2, the Jewel Wasp. The Jewel Wasp is a tiny insect with a surprisingly big personality. Although she may seem small and unassuming, she has some impressive abilities when it comes to hunting and reproduction. This multitasking queen stands out with her unique approach to both. The Jewel Wasp is well known for her exceptional hunting skills. She uses her sting to paralyze cockroaches and other insects, then drags them back to her nest. There she lays her eggs on the still-living prey. Once the eggs hatch, the larvae feed on the helpless insect, all thanks to their mother's clever hunting. When it comes to finding a mate, the female inspects a potential partner's antennae and will only choose the ones with the most impressive features. It's like a beauty contest where the prize is the best antennae. The Jewel Wasp is covered in a shiny metallic color that makes her look like a living piece of jewelry. She could easily outshine peacocks in a competition for the most fabulous creature. Number 1, the flying fox. The flying fox is a special kind of bat with the ability to fly. It's not a superhero, but it does have an amazing wingspan that lets it glide through the air effortlessly. Despite its name, the flying fox isn't like the bats you might imagine, hanging in dark caves and dreaming of world domination. Instead, it's more like a large, fluffy teddy bear with wings. Its soft, furry body and cute, pointy ears make it one of the more charming members of the bat family. Not everyone loves the flying fox, though. Some farmers see it as a nuisance because they sometimes eat fruits and nuts from their crops. It's constantly flying around, avoiding predators, and it needs to refuel with snacks, just like any busy creature would. Speaking of predators, the flying fox faces some unusual threats. Certain types of snakes are known to climb trees and grab the flying fox right out of the air, a pretty sneaky tactic. However, the flying fox is quite resilient. It can grow up to 3 feet long and weigh up to 3 pounds, so it's not an easy target. Which of these jaw-dropping discoveries did you find the most fascinating? Let us know your answer in the comments section.